Hi, welcome back. This is going to be a tutorial video for building your roof truss on your shed. You're going to want to have something looking like this when we're done. I'm modeling the roof truss off of a Howe or Howie truss. I'm not really sure how to pronounce that, but if you can Google image it, you can get an idea of what they look like. This one has a 6/12 pitch. Our specifications are calling for a 5/12 pitch, and I think the way they got there is by using the dimensions provided on our specification sheet on our 2.1.3A tiny house. The distance from the floor to the roof is 10 feet, and then the distance from the floor to the top of our truss is going to be 12 feet and 4.5 inches. So a simple arithmetic tells me that the distance from here to the top of our king post, which is this center piece of the truss, or the bottom of our top cords, which is going to be right here, that distance is going to be 2 feet 4.5 inches. So that's the distance that we're going to use when we start modeling our truss. I'm going to go into the scene view and click on the front of the house. And then I'm going to actually pan up a bit to try to get my view a little level. And I'm going to zoom in a bit and get rid of this toolbar. I'm done using that. And then I might even actually zoom in just a bit more and then rotate up just the tiniest bit so that I can see this front edge of that top plate running along the front side of my shed. I want to draw a rectangle from this front corner edge across to this front corner edge. The first time I did this, I did it quick and I wasn't paying attention. I drew it from here to this corner, and I had like a diagonal piece of lumber started, and that was so frustrating. So learn from my mistake and make sure that you're going to be connecting your rectangle from this point all the way over to this front point, which should be 12 feet. And then you're going to go up on this. Make sure your rectangle is highlighted in green, showing that you're going straight up on the green axis. You're going to go up 2 feet 4.5 inches. So that's going to bring us to there. And that's going to be our starting point for building our truss. Okay. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to use my pencil tool, and we have not used the pencil tool much in the tutorial videos that we've had in class so far, but I think we're going to start using it a lot more. We're going to hover along the top edge of this rectangle and find the midpoint. It should be highlighted in blue. Once you find the midpoint, you can click and drag a line down to the midpoint of the bottom part of the rectangle. Now, just like in the other tutorial video posted to Classroom, you can click on this half and click delete. And then you can also use your eraser tool to get rid of these lines that we're not going to need. And there's going to be another line right in here that you don't need, but I don't know how to delete that at the moment. So we're just not going to worry about that other line just yet. Okay. So I've got this rectangle that I'm working with here, and this is going to be like the template for our truss system. The first thing I want to do is make copies of this top and bottom line to create my 2x4s. We're going to use the move tool, which is down here on the left, and it's the top part of that tool. And we're going to select the midpoint of this top line and hold down our control key, which is going to allow us to make a copy of it. And we're going to drag perpendicularly down, and we're going to type in 4 inches, which is the dimensions of the thickness of a 2x4. The first time I made this truss, I used the 2-inch dimension, which was not the right choice. And to be honest, 4 inches isn't correct either, because that's the nominal length and not the actual length. But again, for this first go around, we're just going to use the nice round numbers to try not to give ourselves too many headaches while we're learning how to do this together. So I'm going to bring this up 4 inches and click, and now I've got 2 pieces of lumber that are started. You can use your eraser tool to delete this line, which will give you the 2 pieces, and then you'll still have a solid black line here in the center, and you're going to need that, so don't delete that yet. The next thing that we're going to want to do is we're going to want to rotate this top of the top cord down to this edge of your shed. So we're going to first use our white cursor tool and double click on this rectangle and make sure that it has the blue outline, the little blue dots in the center. And then you can come down to your move tool and change it to the rotate tool. It's the middle option of the move tool. Okay, so you'll have this protractor looking thing. You can zoom in and you can select this endpoint, and you're going to then select this endpoint, and you should be able to move your rectangle down to the edge. If you start doing this and this geometry down here starts getting really out of whack, it's because you did not select the top rectangle and have the blue outlines like I do. Okay, so we're going to drag it down, and it's not going to reach, but the extended dotted line tells you what angle you're working on, and you're going to want it to intersect with that edge of the shed, and it should snap there with the inferencing on SketchUp. So we're going to put it right there on that edge and click to complete that move. So now that top chord is rotated, we're going to extend these lines. And then I think I'm going to pause the video and take this slower for those of you that are just following along here. So I'm still using my move tool. What I want to do is select the pencil tool, okay? And now I can click on this corner and I'm going to extend the line out. I'm going to extend it out about 2 feet. And you want to make sure that the line has turned pink to know that you are running parallel to the extended edge, and you can click a line, okay? And then you're going to want to drag a line up, and you want it to be perpendicular to the line you just drew, and more importantly, parallel to the edge of this part of the lumber. So once you're running perpendicular to it with the pink line, you're going to go up that distance of 4 inches, and then you can go ahead and connect it to the other end of the board. And then once you've got that done, you can select your white cursor tool and just click out here to outer space. The last thing I'm going to do in this part of the tutorial is delete some of these lines, and then we're going to move on with part 2. All right, I'm going to grab my eraser tool, and I'm going to select these interior lines that we no longer need or want. And now I should have one full piece of geometry that I'm working with. And we're going to figure out this edge and add some more pieces to this truss in video part 2.